Just imagine senior advocate of Nigeria, or better still, call him senior advocate of corruption, senior advocate of bribery. Most of the times, they want to turn the head of justice upside down, and they will finally point fingers at the judiciary, I mean, at the judge. Of course, they are part of the judiciary. They will point fingers at judge A or B, or magistrate A or B, accusing them of being insensitive and also saying that they lack integrity. I'm talking about the relationship between lawyers and the judges or magistrates. Kano Election Tribunal Chair Justice Flora Azinge exposed attempt by senior advocate of Nigeria to bribe her. This is how they go about, taking up cases and screaming and shouting, boasting of winning several cases. They tend to include this in their CV so as to bring in more people, more criminals like themselves, more corrupt clients like themselves. Justice Flora Zinge exposed senior advocates, lawyers who flash money in the faces of judges and magistrates, but they are the first to go on the press, go on social media, accusing judges and magistrates of being corrupt. She said nobody should try to bribe her. Well, while this was ongoing in the court, one of the lawyers stood up and asked the judge to name that particular individual that came to her to bribe her. But then she did not reveal the name, and I think she should have revealed the name. She should have nailed it. Such an individual, if she actually named that person with evidence, should be derobed. Such individual should not be allowed in court anymore. This judge is a true example of what we need in the judiciary. At times when you hear their defense, you will wonder what kind of law school they attended. It's like an argument that came up not so long ago, and I wondered, and a lot of people wondered, where a legal representative of the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, argued in court that it was the bank account, the bank statement of Bola Ahmed Tinubu that committed crime and not Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself. And the question I'm sure that a lot of you will want to ask is this: how can a bank account commit crime by itself? Maybe what this legal representative was trying to posit is this: oh, there are some group of people who had access to his bank account and they deposited money that he did not request them to deposit into his account. And finally, due to the FBI investigation, the money that was deposited in his account that he claimed he wasn't aware of had to be returned. Now, we all know the practice. When a lawyer concludes or finds out that his client is guilty, maybe the client confessed or brought everything and laid it bare. Well, you know the practice. The lawyer has to fabricate. The lawyer has to come up with lies to defend his or her client. And this simply states that that lawyer is an accomplice or part of that criminal venture activity of his client. Now, I have observed that there are a lot of lawyers who are more interested in criminals because they believe that such a criminal will have acquired a lot to offer to them. And this has always been the practice amongst majority of our politicians in Nigeria. Many of them who cannot win elections, many of them who lack the ability, who lack the know-how of winning elections, will seek for criminal lawyers, corrupt lawyers, to seek for corrupt judges so that judgment can be passed in their favor. Now, a lot of people are complaining about Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government. People felt, some people, let us be fair, felt that the man who won the election is the number 3 man. I'm talking about Peter Obi, Labour Party. Until date, it seems the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been put on a test. Naira, they said, has increased. I mean, a dollar is 1,000 naira, and there are some economists who are looking at 1,500 for a dollar. And this kind of prompted people to go back to the video of Bola Ahmed Tinubu whilst he was campaigning, where he said, na statistics we go chop. That was when Peter Obi was churning out data, statistics, and numbers. And some people said having all of these numbers and details does not necessarily mean that you will be able to put things right when you get there. While some say Bola Ahmed Tinubu has experience, he knows how to pick the right people to man, important position, sensitive position. Not to talk of the petrol, the crude oil, petrol. I mean, not having that refinery in Nigeria that can refine crude oil, and also the challenge that people are having buying what we have as a resource in Nigeria, as a resources in Nigeria. Talking about the price of petroleum, diesel, etc.
I think na statistic we go chop.
Someone has tagged Nigerian politicians as parasite. He said they have nothing to offer nobody. They depend on government, depend on what they get, what they loot. When you have series of these criminals, looters here and there, who are parasitic, all they know about is how to steal these resources, steal proceeds from resources, do all sort of criminal activities, and that's what they float on. Majority of them, 99.9% of these politicians, cannot prove or show to you the source of the money that you see them flaunt. Properties are bought everywhere. You see them buy hundreds of properties abroad. You see them buy, if not thousands of properties in Nigeria. And you will wonder of what importance use are these properties. Many of them have even stored money, buried money in various, apartments, underground, drainages. And you will wonder what is the purpose of this money. In fact, majority of them, they often will forget that money has been buried here. And at the end of the day, we have seen countless of this money being brought out, broken in pieces, decayed, and devalued. Now, there are those that have looked into the issue of inflation, and also the, naira / dollar. And I do understand that there are foreign, influences in why majority of African currencies so low and poor. But then some have preferred solution, like I said, and one of the solution is it: stop importation, begin production, build your internal industries. But if there is no security, electricity is not constant, how then can industries in Nigeria, how can they progress? How can they manage to produce and not get into loss? We are talking of a country that is a large exporter of crude oil. We do not have a working, functional refinery. Obviously, those refineries will not work. It is intentional. It is not out of ignorance. If Dangote could come up with the idea of a private refinery and is able to get it through, why is it that the federal government of Nigeria cannot diligently solve this problem? These problems are not so far-fetched. They are problems that they know about, and they can invest in it and make sure that it is productive. But they will not, because if they do, there is a huge possibility that they are looting, stealing, and all of their nefarious activities will be clear for everybody to see. There won't be much coverage on it. No, there won't be more coverage on it if it is done out there. But if it is done inside, there will be whistleblowers. And of course, they won't be able to perpetrate their evil enterprise. Unfortunately, those that are unwilling, those that are not ready to do the right things, are those that will struggle. They will bribe, they will maim, they will do all sort of wicked and evil things to get themselves in power, so as to make sure that they put the country into perpetual poverty and slavery, whilst lining their own pockets. Well, some might say that there is no perfect election anywhere in the world. But when we look at Nigeria closely and we dig deeper into it, there are a lot of challenges. I mean, come on, we do not have a reliable database where information of every individual is kept. If we are to vote using our national ID card, if such is provided, I mean, you might see some people creeping in from the Sahel, from the desert, people who are not Nigerians being issued the Nigerian ID card from the north of Nigeria. There is a lot of loopholes that needs to be dealt with, and it is going to be difficult because those that are in government in those parts of Nigeria are hell-bent and they will make sure that nothing works. So what is the way out? Look at the past election. The 25% of the FCT is still being questioned, and many other questions is being also put out there without answers. I do understand that it's going to take a little while for all of these to be looked into diligently, but there are ways to cut all of this long rope to make it shorter and precise, straight to the point. Obviously, certain individuals who are at the ends of affair will not, and majority of Nigerians do not even understand how these things work. Why? They have made sure that education is watered down and a lot of things are so wrong in Nigeria. History is being taken out. I mean, proper history. A lot of things are wrong. So people do not even understand how things work. They just go with, oh, them say, this one say, that one say, that one say. It's very easy. If everything is documented, if you are electronically connected, and I mean, not the type of data where someone in Abuja or somewhere can easily manipulate data. I'm talking about a system that will have check and balance. If we have such, I think we'll move in the right direction. Obviously, they will not allow this to come to light. If you submit such proposal, if you come up with such idea, they will make sure they shut you down. And it is impossible for the presidency to even want to go to that length because these are the ways that they got themselves into power. Like and share this video, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next update.